We do something called a DMO, or dynamic motion orthosis. We're one of two places, I think, in New Jersey that do this. It's, instead of putting in somebody a hard brace all the time, or a hard garment, especially for spinal stability, it's more of an elastic garment where we put the pressures and the pulling of the elastic garment in different areas so we can control the spine. It works very well for a number of different things, but we see it a lot for children that either have very low tone, they can't sit up on their own. We can put a suit on them that's custom made. I mean, this is truly custom made to them to do the control we need. Put it on them, all of a sudden they're sitting up straight. Instead of putting a hard brace where they just lean into it, this encourages their muscles to take over and start working the way you want the muscles to be, instead of putting somebody in a hard brace all the time. And with that hard brace, instead of using the muscles, they just lean into it and let the brace do it. Now we're encouraging those muscles. We're teaching them how to hold posture much better. And they still have motion, so they can still move in it, but it wants to bring them back to that neutral position.
So it sounds like this is almost a soft
material. If you wanted to compare it to something like a pair of bicycle shorts, elastic material, like the Lycra type material, except for there are panels that are rigid that don't bend. There's four-way stretch, there's two-way stretch, so you can control side to side a certain way. You can put in rotational control to pull one way or the other. Yes, it's a great garment. There are things out there similar called Thuritogs. With Thuritogs, they're just Velcro straps which get pulled around to try to do the same thing. Great device. The biggest problem is if somebody moves the tab and puts it in the wrong place, you may be encouraging it, what you're trying to do to go the wrong way. Where this is built in, every time you put it on, it does the exact same thing.
And you would custom measure the person?
We custom measure. These are made in England. This is, to do a suit, probably taking 50 measurements. I mean, this is more than getting a custom suit made by a tailor. To do what needs to be done and the different things we need to do with it. These are made in England. It's the only place that they're made. And then they're sent back to us here.
And so what is there a name for the ailment that the child has?
All different. We use them for hypotonia or low tone, cerebral palsy children, spinal muscular problems, a lot of different conditions. Also do them sometimes, that's the suit. We do all types of garments. Can do hands for somebody who has a contracture in their hand, trying to allow them to get better positioning, but where they can still use it, or very low tone, so they can hold their hand in a good position and still have some use of the hand. So the nice thing is, you just put rigid splints on everybody, but now they can't do anything. This allows them to use it, but it wants to bring them back to that neutral position so they're not getting contracted, not always being in a bad position.
Is this normally for pediatrics or?
Both.
Okay.
We do a lot more with it with pediatrics, but especially with the full suit garments, with the upper limb, done a number of them for adults without a problem. It's actually worked very well for them. And the other thing, I don't know if Mike mentioned this, Bioness, which is for certain conditions, it works very well. It replaces a lower limb brace. For somebody who has a drop foot, it's an electric stim which fires the nerves to lift the foot up. So when you have a drop foot and your toes, you're taking, stroke patients, cerebral palsy, MS, muscular sclerosis, things like that. They have a foot drag, they're walking, it's dropping down. A lot of other conditions, the same thing that may cause it. This fires the nerves by a device attached to the leg, the upper part of the tibia,
it gets
the
to
shin.
the nerve just through the skin?
Through the skin, it fires just like a TENS unit or an E-stim, if anybody's ever had that, where it just tingles. Does the same thing, fires the nerves, lifts that foot up. So when you're walking, your heel hits the ground, it turns it off, so your foot comes down. You get to your toe where you're on your toe and your heel comes up, it fires again.
Wow, that really must change a person's life.
It can, yes. Instead of wearing a big brace for the right person, it doesn't work for everybody. People come in, get a free test, see if it works for them. But they just started doing it with pediatrics, so we're doing it with pediatrics now also.
Oh, historically it's been for adults?
It was for adults. They got it approved for pediatrics and have developed a smaller size device that you can use on children also.